lack of lateral bracing is another one we talked about.
Yeah.
And this is important here because we have high winds.
You didn't read the comment from Georgia Deck guy?
No, and
that's Gonzo now, right?
No, I can get. Oh shoot, it was gone. What did he say?
So he just said that like in Georgia now they're allowed to use ledgers and structural screw, like ledger locks and lag bolts and structural screws for the ledger. It wasn't approved.
They had to use traditional leg bolts or carriage bolts or through bolts or something before.
Yeah, I don't know what they were using. He did specifically say lag bolts were allowed now. And so I don't know, like maybe they were using Ardox nails
I don't know.
as the approved fastener.
If he jumps back in here. He did just jump back in here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joel, we missed your last comment. We didn't see all of it. Something about you now being able to use lag bolts in your market. So sorry, we didn't catch that in time. Before the live ended and we had to restart it. So lateral bracing. So what this is this is especially applicable for high decks because the higher up it is, like the higher up that your deck is teetering on top of a post, the more it can sway. And so on low decks that are 2 feet from the ground, you know,
I found this. The higher you are, the harder it is to stay upright.
Right. Yeah.
That happens.
Okay. So you need to make sure in some capacities, the deck isn't going to sway back and forth because it'll break everything.
Yep.
If it sways too much, it's going to pull that ledger off the house because it's probably not attached properly in the first place.
Yeah. Got a couple nails just in there.
Yeah. Some things are going to snap off if things are creaking and moving around too much. So you just need to make sure you have some lateral bracing, whether it's knee bracing or some flat bracing underneath, like the kind of the W bracing, that lateral bracing underneath the joist that people do. Something to stiffen the structure so it doesn't rack and shake around a bunch. So that one's important.
And it's especially important to pay attention to now because not everybody, but a large portion of decks are being done with composites.
Yeah.
And the fastener for the composites are clamps. They're not actual fasteners. They just clamp the board to the frame.
Correct, yeah.
And so back in the good old days when people built with wood, you'd screw the whole deck down. And so there's a ton of lateral support there because you got a gazillion screws and the whole thing's all fastened tight.
Yeah,
Can't
probably
move.
almost enough. That alone, right?
Yeah. 31 boards, 2 screws every joist. It's not going anywhere.
Can't rack around.
Can't.
Rack around. Rack around. Rack up, rack down.
So now you have to address that. You have to think that the frame is now it's an independent structure of the deck boards because they're just clamped.
Yeah.
Used to be integrated.
Yeah.
You like all those big words? I felt like I really had a big streak there.
Integrated was a good one. Yeah. Can you mark up a 1 on the board for Wade on big words?
Big word board?
Yeah, that's a great point. You're not getting any more structure out
put
of
a
your
point
frame
up for great points
from
from
your decking anymore, typically. So you need to pay more attention to the bracing that is going to take that wobble and racking out of the structure because the deck boards aren't doing it for you anymore.
Nope.
So